Hey y'all, thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and hit the red button below. It says subscribe, you cannot miss it. And so, I'm a little annoyed right now, a little infuriated, just probably a lot of negative things, like not particularly in the best mood talking about this. So yesterday, Trump basically came out and endorsed a bipartisan bill for criminal justice, prison reform called the First Step Act. Now, the first place that I saw this on social media was because of a right wing media page. It's really not even media. It's like a personal page that I follow on Instagram. So when I saw this, I was immediately intrigued, a little excited, of course, very curious and inquisitive. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go find more information about this and see what's going on. When I say the lack of coverage, the lack of information, the lack of people sharing this information is so appalling to me. And I want to say it's surprising, but I will be lying. Because at this point, I'm really starting to see a lot of things so differently. Today, I am going to take y'all through the process of what I researched last night, what I saw, how this is being covered, what was talked about and what wasn't talked about, and basically give y'all a little bit of my perspective on this. Now this is probably going to be one of my longer videos, but I want y'all to bear with me because I actually have something to say on this topic, and I think this is so important. Now keep in mind this was last night, and so this is me doing this video the following morning, so there might be new things that have come up, and if I see that, this is literally gonna be me going through the process with you guys.
All right, y'all. So the first thing I did last night was went to and you can already see kind of like in my search, I looked for stuff on prison reform, right? And so as you can see, I went to the uploaded date because I wanted the most recent. Now, as you can see, these are just like, personal pages that come to the top. And so one place I was particularly looking for information was from CNN. Now, I want y'all to know that I went to CNN's page and I couldn't find any information about this press conference yesterday on the actual CNN page. All these are personal pages or they are on different topics, okay? Now, I did see this guy's video, and I'm actually going to use that video, so I'm going to come back to that in just a few minutes. But let's actually look at CNN's page to see what they uploaded yesterday. And right now, y'all see what these stories are about, okay? Security guard kill, why Trump isn't talking about Caravan, the Mueller probe, Michael Avenatti, all this. I don't see anything about the prison reform endorsement on yesterday. Now, this is all the way back to, you see, I've gone to 1 day now. All right, cool. So there's nothing there. Now, let me show y'all this. So let's go back to Prison Reform CNN. And go back to upload date. So it'll give me the most recent. Now, this person, whoever they are, CNN, Cooper, Como, and Lemon. So I guess whoever this person is, they just upload videos that they find interesting or whatever. So shout out to this person for this video. Now, as y'all can see, y'all did not see this video on the official CNN page. Now, let me tell you something. I stayed up all last night to watch CNN just to see how they would cover the story. Y'all, I missed this, okay? I watched CNN last night, and I missed this. This segment had to be so short. Y'all, last night, I got up to go reheat some wings that I wanted to eat. I had to miss this story within that time. That's how much coverage this story got last night. But thankfully, this guy uploaded it. And so I'm going to go ahead and play this for y'all.
It's a very substantive, positive bill.
Okay, so law enforcement is endorsing it. So what about, how did it get the president's support?
Well, obviously, Jared Kushner, his father went to prison. He's been a passionate advocate on this issue for a while. And I think that when you have formerly incarcerated people taking the lead, which has really been the driving force here, and law enforcement, and strong senators on both sides of the aisle, President Trump said, listen, if this is going to make streets safer, if it's going to give people a fairer chance, if some of these forgotten men and women, some of them.
Now, I want y'all to look at how unenthused Don Lemon is looking right now, okay? Just pay attention.
Strong senators on both sides of the aisle, President Trump said, listen, if this is going to make streets safer, if it's going to give people a fairer chance, if some of these forgotten men and women, some of them are in Appalachia as well, let's do something. And so listen, I think you got to give him some credit. When Obama was in office, no matter what he did, the right wing just kicked his butt. I mean, he did stuff that the conservatives had been begging him to do, and then they kicked his butt. So I say the 99 times I don't agree with the president, I'm going to give him hell. But on this one, I'll give him a salute and an applause. We've got to come together to help the people at the bottom. Okay. And if you can't put politics aside to help people who are suffering and struggling in prison, when there's a shot to do something on a bipartisan basis, then I think we've taken politics too far.
Okay, so let me ask you then, what do you say to critics, many of them Democrats?
Did you see that little hand motion? Like, that was like, okay, dude, whatever. But let's keep watching.
Who say it doesn't go far enough. And they ask how you can trust this president who has done so many, frankly, racist things.
Yeah. Well, listen, those are two different things. It is true that the bill doesn't go far enough. Frankly, you probably couldn't pass a bill that goes far enough for me, because we have 2.2 million people in prison, and I think a lot of those people could come home tomorrow and be just fine. But it's a first step, and we held out for way too much under Obama and wound up getting nothing. So I think now we're learning a little bit. Let's take that first step. Let's break the log jam. Let's show that we can work together and get something done. Trust is a different issue. Trust, this idea of trust is almost like a light switch. Do you trust, do you not trust? I see it more like a dimmer switch. Where can I trust? Who can I trust? For what can I trust? Do I believe that this president will sign a bill that law enforcement says will make the streets safer, and that, by the way, civil rights group I trust that he will sign that bill. And so I think that we should actually be happy that there's something that he might actually do that we would celebrate. And by
now, I want y'all to pay attention to that question that Don Lemon asked. He asked a question about trusting the president. Now, I want to point out a couple things to you. First of all, you want to talk about trust. Y'all trusted Obama, okay? Obama got in front of the cameras talking about Trayvon Martin looked like me. Trayvon Martin could have been my son. Do you know what Obama turned around and did? Since we want to talk about trust, do you know what Obama turned around and did after saying a statement like that? Obama turned around and signed a Protect the Blue Act. Protection for police officers. Right after saying that statement. Now, I might not be saying the correct term or the correct name for the act. I'm going to go back and add that in here. But since we're talking about trust, explain to me who can really be trusted at this point. Who? What did Obama do that should have made people trust him on prison reform? You literally say that statement, a politically charged statement. I don't even know what to call it. But he obviously knew it was going to get a reaction out of people. An emotional reaction, an emotionally charged statement. And then you turn around and sign something that gave more protection to police officers who are already fully protected. There is nobody that I can think of that is getting slapped on the wrists for killing police officers. Period. I haven't seen it. Okay? They throw the book at these people. And not only that, at the time, a lot of people were saying that law, that act was not even needed because a lot of states locally already had this system that he was trying to put in place. So to me, that was just a complete slap in the face. So Don Lemon, like, you want to sit here and talk about trust, like, what is your objection to not do anything, to not move forward prison reform? Like, I don't get it.
The way he can still say he's tough on crime because law enforcement says this will make streets safer because people are going to be coming home better. So everybody can, every now and again, everybody can win, and maybe we should take yes for an answer sometimes.
Okay. Will it pass in the Senate?
Now, his next question is, will it pass the Senate? Now, as you can see, the video cut off. And I'm not exactly sure of Van Jones' answer because, as you can see, where's the information? Where is it? This is 4 days ago. All this is 4 days ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. So who even knows? I'm telling y'all, I watched CNN last night, got up, some microwave my freaking hot wings. I'm going to sit in front of the TV and finish watching. And I missed this whole segment. So that literally tells y'all, not seeing this anywhere else. Now the important, and that's so important, and we don't even know Van Jones' answer, is this going to pass the Senate? Now, that's the important part. In their press conference, Trump said that he is looking forward to the Senate passing the bill, and it's showing up on his desk, and he will be happy to sign off on it, okay? The next thing I did, I actually went to CNN's page just to see. Now, this is the man who was just telling y'all last week that white people are the biggest terror threat to America. The internet went viral. The internet went crazy. You are trying to pretend that you are some type of ally and some type of hero to the black community. And I'm telling y'all, it is fake. It is a facade. It is fake. The Limit is a fraud. The whole CNN. Let me show y'all. All right. Trump. Prison reform. Let's search and see what we see. And it's crazy because my phone never goes this slow. Ever. Alright, cool. So this is the video. Now, as y'all notice, I said I was on here last night. I can now see they have loaded the Van Jones video. Van Jones gives Trump credit on prison reform. As you can see right here, the video is 1 minute and 08 seconds. So that video is probably even shorter than the video I just showed y'all. And they just uploaded that this morning. 1 minute and 8 seconds is how much coverage they are giving to this. Now, they did announce he was going to support it. Alright, let's see what we have. It's going to go, because these are articles. And I'm going to go to this video. Trump turns attention to prison reform. Now, let's look at this. This video is going to be 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
President Trump talking about a criminal justice reform bill, the First Step Act that he's calling for Congress.
Now, I can't think of this guy's name off the top of my head, y'all. But I want to point out that he is not even in one of the main slots in the nightly news. He is not in the 7, 8, or 9 o'clock slot. So this was filmed earlier in the day. I'm going to try to go back and put his name in here. I can't think of his name right now, okay? But in the evenings, nights, when you have the most people watching, you have Andrew Cuomo. I think that's his name, y'all. But I know you have Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper, okay? They have the most important slots, the segments everybody are going to be watching. This guy is earlier in the day, maybe around 5 or 6, or maybe even earlier.
In a bipartisan way, one of the first moments of bipartisan expression that we've heard since President Trump and the Republican Party did so poorly in the midterm elections. Let's take a brief moment just to talk about what this legislation is. This is not a grand sweeping reform of the criminal justice system, as people like Van Jones, for example, have been pushing for. What does this bill do?
This is prison reform. So the First Step Act is an act that actually passed the House of Representatives earlier this year, but that has been stalled in the Senate. But it's
Now, I think that's interesting because he used Van Jones to make this point. But as you can see on the last video, I just showed you that Van Jones said out of his own mouth, he thinks the attention this is being given in this first step deserves an applause.
specifically prison reform. It does not go broadly and deal with sentencing, which is why 57 Democrats voted against it. They said it did not go far enough because sentencing.
Now, she starts to talk about sentencing, which I think is interesting, right? She went on this tangent talking about sentencing, and does not go into sentencing. But as you're going to see, the other videos that I show you that goes more into depth about this talks about exactly that. I have seen other sources say it does deal with sentencing and minimums for certain crimes, okay? I'm going to actually show you that. You don't have to take my word for it.
Issues or something in this country. How you get to jail is just as important as how you get out of jail. But what this bill does do is it does mandate the Attorney General to create an assessment tool to assess the recidivism, the potential recidivism rate of a potential prisoner going into jail, and then creating a program and a reassessment so that folks can get out of jail earlier. It can actually be a rehabilitative process, that we are not just warehousing disproportionately, if we're being frank, black and brown people in America.
Well, listen, the name is apt, right? First Step Act. This is a great first step. The president has to thread the needle here. The members of Congress do. As Simone points out, it doesn't pass. The Democrats think it doesn't go far enough. Republicans are very suspicious. So you kind of have to run through the raindrops without getting wet on this, right? And by all accounts, it's something that should be done. Let's see if the politicians get out of the way and get it done.
And why now?
Well, a couple of things. One, Jeff Sessions is now gone. He was an obstacle to this legislation, right? So the Republican...
Now, that's important. I want to point this out. And this is why I tell Black people that you have to stop following up behind every single media talking point, because people were so upset about Jeff Sessions getting fired for certain reasons, not even noticing him standing in the way of certain legislation that could impact us the most. That's important to note.
Cross currents on this issue are fascinating, right? You have Democrats who don't think it goes far enough, and you have big divisions within the Republican Party. You have a libertarian wing that supports
you could do this in the lame duck.
The Koch brothers, as well.
No, they're in favor of it.
But you also have the traditional tough on crime Republicans, which Trump has also been one.
All right,
Lame duck.
stick around.
Right, that's that. Let me show y'all.
President Trump is backing a plan to overhaul the nation's criminal justice laws. If passed, it would be the biggest change in a generation. Mr. Trump outlined the new bipartisan agreement this afternoon at the White House.
The legislation I'm supporting today contains many significant reforms, including the following. First, it will provide new incentives for low-risk inmates to learn the skills they need to find employment, avoid old habits, and follow the law when they're released from prison. In many respects, we're getting very much tougher on the truly bad criminals, of which, unfortunately, there are many. But we're treating people differently for different crimes.
Criminal justice reform has been an issue that has forged many unlikely political alliances. A driving force behind that bipartisanship is also perhaps an unlikely source, Koch Industries, a company best known for its founders, the Koch brothers, and their support for conservative causes and candidates. Mark Holden is general counsel for Koch Industries. He's been a key player behind today's proposed legislation, and he joins me now. Mark Holden, welcome back to the News Hour.
Thanks for having me.
So we heard a little bit just now from President Trump about what this represents. What more can you tell us would be the main difference if this legislation were to pass?
Well, I mean, at the federal level, we really haven't had a lot of reforms that have been rehabilitative and redemptive, is what I'd say, that scale back some of the more...
Now, I would like to point out that... a lot of people were about to crap their pants because of the meeting that Kanye West had at the White House with Trump. But I would like to point out that it seems to be a lot of what is in this bill was some of Kanye West's actual talking points, not just throwing people back on the streets, rehabilitating people and giving them the job and giving them the opportunity to have skills and to find jobs. So I just want to point this out. Do I think he was key into this legislation or anything? No, not particularly. But I just would like to point that out.
Draconian parts of our criminal justice system. So the First Step Act is what it's called, and it's focused in first part on prison rehabilitation programs. So for people in federal prisons, getting better while they're in prison, not becoming worse. So there'll be jobs, skills training, rehabilitation, drug therapy, those types of things. And these are evidence-based practices that have been shown to work in the states to reduce crime rates and reduce incarceration rates. All of this has happened in the states, and now it's working its way to the federal system as well. There's also, that passed through the House 360 to 59 back in May.
Right.
Now, this bill that was announced today is the Senate version, and they've added 4 sentencing provisions to that, sentencing reforms that we think really need to happen.
That make it lighter sentencing,
yes,
in
exactly.
effect, for those who have committed crimes that are not as serious.
Right.
Now, as you can see, he clearly talks about lighter sentencing. Now, the other young lady, I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but I just showed you. She said it doesn't address sentencing. You have a person right here that has actually been working closely on the bill saying that it does. So I just want y'all to pay attention to that. Take note of that. Now, this is a very good, informative video. It does not seem like a biased video. So I am going to link this video in the description. Please go watch the full video. It's about almost 7 minutes long. Now listen to this, right? Because she mentions, I don't know her exact words, but said something about the reason why people are going to prison in the first place. I want you to see how he addresses that.
Well, drug offenders, they won't have to go to prison necessarily. Judges will have more discretion. There's also, it ends the 3 strikes and you're out life in prison penalty. There's still stiff mandatory minimums up to 25 years, but it does away with the life imprisonment requirement.
Now, does away with the 3-strike life penalty. And judges will have more discretion for low-level offenders. And they don't necessarily have to go to jail. Did y'all hear that? So this is what I'm talking about. This is the stuff that I have to go find because they nearly make it impossible. The last thing I wanted to, there is this article that had a little bit more information with CNN Politics, and it has a video of Jared Kushner talking with Van Jones. I'm gonna link all this, like I said, in the description box. But it has a little bit more information. But like I said, it's crazy how this type of stuff you have to go and dig 100 feet deep for. You know what I mean? But let Trump come out and call Omarosa a dog, and it's gonna be everywhere and impossible to get away from. Like do y'all see what I'm saying here? All right, let's look. So I'm not gonna read the article really. I just wanted to point out some things that stuck out to me. Trump did mention that to hire American includes those leaving prison and looking for a very fresh start, new jobs, and new life. Said, I'm waiting. I'll be waiting with a pen, and we will have done something that hasn't been done in many, many years, and it's the right thing to do. I am going to link the entire video so you can see the press conference and what he talked about. He talked about Alice Johnson. All right, this is the important part, y'all. Supporters of the First Step Act expect that Trump's backing will help propel the prison and sentencing overhaul bill through Congress, a push White House officials hope to accomplish during the lame duck session of Congress. The White House plans to begin circulating the final text of the reworked legislation this week. Once members have a chance to look it over, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has promised to bring the bill to a floor vote if there are 60 votes in favor of it. Now, the official also denied that former attorney, the White House official, denied that Jeff Sessions' departure contributed to the moving forward on the bill, calling the time coincidental. Sessions was an opponent of the legislation. I don't believe it. I don't believe it was coincidental. This talks more about sentencing. Like I said, the new legislation will eliminate stacking provisions that will result in offenders serving consecutive sentences for crimes committed using firearms, shorten mandatory minimum sentences, including reverting life imprisonment to a 25-year minimum for those convicted under the 3 strikes provision. All right, so this is Politico.com. Now, this article is also really good. I'm going to link this below. Now, some people do have concerns that this won't get through the Senate. That's fine. Doesn't mean you shouldn't push it. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this. McConnell isn't making any commitments to move a criminal justice proposal in the lame duck session, saying Wednesday that he needs to see a final legislative language, then gauge support for the bill among his 51-member caucus, and then see whether the Senate has time to squeeze it onto the calendar. He said we need to take a whip count and see where we stand, and then weigh it against the other things that absolutely have to be accomplished. We don't have a whole lot of time left. So I want y'all to notice this language, and they're basically worried about what Republicans will support or not support this. And that's why Trump's endorsement was so important, because they're basically hoping that his endorsement will encourage some of the other people that may be a little bit tighter on criminal justice reform to go ahead and vote for this bill. Now, this says the White House has been in regular contact with McConnell's office about finding floor time for the bill. Okay, so this is a White House official saying, hey, when are y'all going to address the bill? A White House official said Trump administration aides initially hoped to move the bill before the election, so that's midterms. But McConnell decided to wait until after it was over. This is probably the most interesting part of this. However, it remains to be seen how comprehensive Democratic support is for the package. Some in the party may believe that a Democratic House takeover next year could lead to a better outcome for the left by nudging the GOP to the table on a stronger sentencing reform. I'm in favor of a comprehensive criminal justice reform. My only question is this big enough? Elizabeth Warren. Senator Cory Booker. Like Warren, a potential 2020 presidential contender for his party, on Wednesday declined to weigh in on where he stands on the measure, saying that he's in a lot of conversations about the bill right now. So this is what I want to tell y'all. Not only did I feel like I had to dig to find for this information, but I feel like they never give us full insight to stuff like this. I feel like the young lady on CNN had the perfect opportunity to really go more into depth and really talk about what is more. Elizabeth Warren and Cory Booker, what is more? See, my thing is the whole name of the act is the First Step Act, okay? The First Step Act literally means the first step. So I want to hear these Democrats talking about what is more. They also have to realize that this is a bipartisan bill. They're going to have to do it together and come to some type of compromise, okay? So this is the stuff this is why I'm mad, because this is the stuff we need to know. We need to know who we need to be keeping our eyes on, what the heck is going on, so we can make sure that this is pushed through. But this is where you will have Democrats that will stand in the way of things getting done, okay? Now, my thing is, why not let people know what's going on? Why not have longer segments about this? Why not? Y'all, I sat there and watched CNN last night. Don Lemon's whole freaking show was about race, okay? Whole show. Now, I already told y'all I missed that very slither of a segment with Van Jones. But my thing is, don't try to sensationalize me with these bold, emboldened, brazen, emotionalized statements, racially charged statements, and then when it comes to stuff that really impacts us, you want to give it a slither of your time. Y'all, that is a slap in the face. Last night, Don Lemon had Ronald Reagan's daughter on there, and Ronald Reagan's daughter, I don't know if she wrote a book recently or what, but she was on there basically talking about how her dad would be appalled by some of the things that Donald Trump has done and some of the things Donald Trump has said. He decided to have Ronald Reagan's daughter on his show the day he decided to have Ronald Reagan's daughter on this show the day Trump came out and endorsed criminal justice reform that would impact black men the most and black people the most. He brings on Ronald Reagan's daughter to talk about racism. You talking about the Ronald Reagan of the crack era epidemic? That Ronald Reagan. The Ronald Reagan that is the reason why so many black men were harshly, so much more severely charged compared to their white counterpart. Y'all, if that's not a blatant slap in the face, a blatant questioning of our intelligence. Like, I am appalled. The freaking Reagan of the crack era combined with Clinton, who helped send more black men to jail than any other president. The day this president comes out to talk about it, we get 1 minute and 8 seconds of time, y'all. 1 minute and 8 seconds on the main news hour, prime time. 1 minute and 8 seconds. That's how worthy we are. But Don Lemon will come out and make statements about white men being the biggest terror. When I tell y'all, this is what my platform is about. This man is a fraud. This is why we have to know for ourselves. We have to research. We have to support people that are trying to get answers and get down to the bottom of the truth. People will get mad at me because I call out black media for not bringing up issues into the fact where they can be sensationalized with the whole caravan issue. If Trump had gotten up there and signed a freaking act that had anything to do with illegal immigration, y'all, it would still be flooding the news right now. Half the show would have probably been about that. But when we are talking about our issues, they throw us bones. Bones. We don't know what the heck is going on. They don't go thorough and explain it. It is an insult to our intelligence, y'all. It is an insult to what we care about. And I need y'all to see this. Like, I need y'all to get it. I need y'all to understand it. I need it to click. These people are not our friends. They are not our allies. We are going to have to do the work. Period. We have to do the work to be more informed, y'all, because it's not about that. It's not about making us informed anymore. It's not. It's only about making us mad. It's only about clicks and views and agendas and when it sells. And I'm sorry for this rant. I'm sorry for this long video, but I'm mad, y'all. I'm mad. And if you can't see it, at this point, like, I don't know what more I can say. But this is what I have to get back to, y'all. And this is the biggest part of what my platform is about. The biggest part. Like, we have to educate ourselves. We have to take it upon ourselves to be informed because they are not going to do it. I don't give a crap what Don Lemon says that y'all want to make viral. This should have been viral. Every single black media outlet should have been covering this. This story should have went viral, period. Period. I don't care that it's not enough. I don't care that Democrats care that it's not enough yet. These are things we need to know so we know the people to look at, who to be holding accountable, what the heck is going on. So when I tell y'all they don't want us to be informed, I am not lying about that. The proof is there. The proof is there. It's there right in front of our eyes. So don't get mad at me when I say, y'all, the black media ain't even talking about this. Don't get mad at me. Start holding these people accountable. Y'all more mad at me than holding these people accountable. Roland Martin, D.L. Hughley, and all these other people. They are encouraging y'all not to think. not to find information, not to think for yourselves, because they want you to depend on them so they can continue to do this. I don't give a crap how much you don't like Trump. I don't give a crap how you feel about this administration. These are things we need to know, period. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. Even if you don't agree with it, you need to know. And this is what our news has come down to, y'all. So when I tell y'all these people don't care, it's about making money. See for yourself. I don't want to come on here and tell y'all nothing y'all can't find and see with your own two eyes. So I think I covered everything. I'm sorry for the long video, but I just wanted to go through this like I go through this, and so y'all can see the steps I take to find information, because the information we actually need is not readily available. And I don't be joking when I tell y'all that this is serious. Like, this is serious business, and this is more serious now than it has ever been. And people always think, black or white, Democrat or Republican, vote or don't vote. People always chasing up behind cute words while people are doing different things behind the curtains. But I'm finna tell y'all, it's almost time out for that. People are getting fed up. People are getting fed up because people ain't looking for the cute words no more. People are looking for action, and people are looking for information and trying to get to the bottom of what the heck is really going on. And what's going to happen, see, Trump is not as crazy as y'all think he is. Y'all better start paying attention. Because he knows if this bill, and this is my prediction is that I think they are going to block him. I think they are going to try to block him. That's my prediction. And that's why I think they are not telling us about this. That's exactly why, because I think the Democrats are going to block him, y'all. That's my prediction. I pray to God that doesn't happen. But that's why the media is not telling us about it, so we won't focus on it, because what's going to happen is they know that if Trump is able to push this through, then it's over for them. It's over. He's getting a second term. I'm telling y'all that now. Period. They are already saying that black men in these midterm elections, and I think even some women, if I'm not mistaken, have voted Republican in record numbers. So I'm telling y'all now, if this is passed, it's either one or two things. They're going to do it so quietly that they're not going to let people know. Or they're going to just complain and witch about what's wrong with it. Or two, they're going to block him from doing it. Because they know that if this goes through and people know about it and people can see the effects of this, it's over. It's over. He's winning the second term. I'm telling y'all that now. That is my prediction. So, I'm sorry for this rant. I'm a little frustrated. I'm very frustrated. And y'all can see why. And so, I'm just going to end it here. Y'all, leave your thoughts, comments below. What do you think? What are your predictions? Did you even know about this endorsement or know anything about the bill before watching this video today? Do you support it, or do you think it's not enough? Leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.